Hey guys, welcome back. So it's no secret that Apple's latest devices, namely the M1 iPad Pro and the M1 Pro and Pro Max laptops, require lots of juice to keep them going. In fact, Apple even sells different wattage adapters if the one that ships with your device isn't enough to charge it fast enough. With the advent of GaN technology over the last few years, we've seen an increase in the amount of power that chargers can put out, while at the same time a decrease in the size, making it possible to have an extremely portable charger that's able to power not only a laptop, but an iPad and also other devices at the same time. Now, as you all know, I'm a sucker for a good charger. I have way too many of them. You've probably seen some of them in my last few videos. I think I may have an issue. So when Chinese company KOVOL reached out to me to check out one of their latest GaN chargers that could not only charge a MacBook Pro and an iPad Pro at full wattage at the same time, but also a couple of other devices, I said, yes please, sign me up, send me one as soon as you can. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the charger and see if it can replace those 4 other chargers you may be currently carrying with you in your laptop bag. Let's take a look. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things tech, particularly those smaller tech items to help you increase your productivity, streamline your workflow, and make your life easier. So as I said earlier in this video, I've got a ridiculous amount of chargers. I've got chargers by Anker, I've got Aukey, moment of silence. I've even got a bunch of Apple chargers that are cluttering up my storage containers, and I am always on the lookout for something that can really streamline the amount of chargers that I have to take with me, especially when I'm out and about, because the less the better. And when you have tons of chargers that are just cluttering up your bags, it just makes everything a mess with the cables and everything else. The other thing too is that the reason people still take lots of chargers with them is that a lot of these chargers that I have can power maybe one device, possibly 2 devices at the same time, but the wattage gets split the more devices that you add. So having something that's in a small enough package to produce enough power to charge all those things you're going to be taking with you is a pretty rare find. Of course, I've got a ton of battery banks, but battery banks are only going to get you so much power. They're good in situations where maybe you just can't plug into a wall, but if you've got that wall outlet available to you, then having something that's small yet powerful and enough to handle the wattage of something like a MacBook Pro and be able to charge it not only at full speed, but even quick charge it, then that's going to be something that I definitely would like to have in my arsenal. I would say up until the last few years, it's been kind of difficult to get a charger that's small enough to be able to take with you pretty much anywhere you go, and powerful enough to power these devices, because it's always some kind of huge just power brick that's not going to fit very well. It's going to be super heavy. But with GaN technology, that is rapidly changing and things are getting smaller and smaller. So gallium nitride was something that was used back in the 90s to produce LED panels. And the thing about gallium nitride is it allows components to be much closer together as it produces less heat. So as a result, when you're making a gallium nitride charger, you can actually put the components much closer together than you could in a traditional charger, and it's going to produce less heat, so you don't have to have that much space around the components for airflow, meaning that the charger is not going to overheat if you try to get too much power out of it. To my knowledge, Anker was actually the first ones who started using the gallium nitride technology in their chargers, but a lot of other companies are using them now. When the company KOVOL first reached out to me, I wasn't too familiar with them, but I did some research and it looks like they make some really solid charging products. Not only chargers like these, but they also make cables and other things that are going to help you charge your devices. And from what I've seen in this charger, they're built very solidly and it doesn't look cheap at all. So the first thing I noticed when I took this out of the box is the weight of this thing. It's, as you can see, it's not very big. I mean, it is kind of a, chunky brick. I mean, this isn't something that you're just going to stick in your pocket. I mean, I guess you probably could, but it's not going to be very comfortable. So this has 2 USB-C ports that deliver 60 watts per channel. And it also has 2 quick charge USB-A ports. The company claims that this will charge a 16-inch MacBook in 1.7 hours and can provide power to 2 MacBooks at the same time, which is going to split 60 watts between the two devices. It's PD 3.0 certified USB charging station, and like I said earlier, it's got GaN technology, which allows it to be up to 37% smaller than a typical 100 watt charger, but it actually has better performance. The other nice thing about this is that it does have a detachable cable. So if you're packing it, say in a bag, and you don't have a ton of room, you can, wrap up this cable. It does come with a nice cable tie on it, and you're not gonna have to worry about having some like giant cable that's attached to it like some other chargers that I have. It also has a 2-year guarantee, and it sells for $99 on Amazon, but they currently have a $20 off coupon, so it makes it a pretty good deal at $79. So first of all, let's take a look at the size. So like I said, this is fairly substantial. It's heavy. It's not heavy to the point where it's gonna be like, a nuisance, but it is gonna make your bag a little bit heavier, especially if you are carrying, say, like the 14 or 16 inch MacBook Pro. Now, compared to the 67 watt charger that comes with the MacBook, you'll notice that, it's thicker, but it actually has a little bit of a smaller form factor. So where you could kind of slide this into a laptop bag, you're gonna need a little bit more room for this. But the thing is with the Apple charger is that all you can charge with this thing is one device, most likely your MacBook Pro. This thing, you can charge your MacBook Pro, you can charge your iPad Pro, your iPad mini, you can charge your iPhone, you can charge any Android devices you might have. I mean, pretty much anything you have laying around. The fact that you have all that power available to you is really great. Like I said, it has 120 watts of charging power, so if you've got one device hooked up to this thing, it's going to charge very fast. In fact, with the M1 Pros and the M1 Pro Max laptops, if you're familiar with the fast charging on those, Apple claims that if you have a charger that supports it, namely the 96 watt or higher charger, it will charge a MacBook Pro in 30 minutes up to 50%. And that actually works with this charger as long as you don't have anything else plugged into it. If you have like an iPad plugged in at the same time, it's not gonna work. But I did test it with my 14-inch MacBook Pro M1, and in 30 minutes it went from dead to 50%. So let's say you're someone who uses your MacBook Pro a lot, like out in the field, and if you're looking for something that's gonna get you to 50% in as little time as possible, this is gonna be a great tool for you. Oh, and just in case you're interested, the USB-A ports on this thing have 18 watts of charging capacity. This is also something that would be great to use on a family vacation, or maybe you're traveling with a few people who all have devices. I mean, who doesn't have devices these days? And basically 4 people could charge 4 separate devices on these at the same time, and I think they would probably all charge fairly rapidly. I mean, like I said, the more things you have plugged into this, the lower the wattage is gonna go down, but it's still gonna charge them fairly quickly because you've got 120 watts of power. I've actually got a Anker charger that is very slim compared to this one. You've actually seen it in one of my other videos, and it's a nice square package. It has the 2 USB-Cs and the 2 USB-A ports on it, but that only has a maximum of 63 watts of power, so the more you plug into that, it's really the charging time is going to go down. This has almost twice the wattage that the Anker does, so you're really going to get much more power, be able to charge things much more rapidly than you would with a smaller charger. Now, of course, that one is much smaller. It's going to fit much better in a bag, but if space isn't really that much of an issue for you, like let's say you're going on a long trip and you've got several bags with you, this can fit pretty neatly into a suitcase or a large laptop bag. You're not going to fit it into something really skinny, but if you've just got a suitcase that you can put this in, this is going to be great. I'm not really sure what these 3 LED lights do on the front of the device other than telling you that you've got power, because it's not like the LED lights, usually when you have 3 LED lights, they're going to tell you how much juice you have in like your battery or something. This, I think, just kind of tells you that the device has power. It seems like they could have just put 1 light on it, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. I was just kind of a little confused by that when I got it and opened it up. And I know I've been talking about how this is a great portable device, even though, it is a little bit chunky, but it's also a great device to either keep on your desk or under your desk because, like I said, it's gonna be able to power pretty much anything you throw at it. It's going to be able to give you enough juice to power things quickly. So I think really either in a mobile environment or a stationary environment, it's going to pretty much do anything that you can accomplish with multiple chargers in a much smaller package. And really, if I had to say that there were any downsides to it, it's probably just the size and the weight. You know, if you're looking for something portable with lots of power, you may be able to find something that's smaller in size. You know, I mentioned the Anker power port adapter that I have that's basically, you know, it's like a small square, and you know, it does have the same amount of ports, not quite the same amount of power. But I think for the money and also for, you know, the form factor, it's really hard to beat this, because you're not going to find something that's this size and puts out this much power, or rather, you're not going to find something that's really much smaller than this that puts out the same amount of power. The other thing to mention on price for this, the fact that it's $79 puts it in direct competition with Apple's 96-watt power brick that they sell for the MacBook Pro. Not to mention, if you look on Apple's website, that currently has a 2 to 3 month shipping date. And the fact that this has more power, can charge 3 more devices than the Apple one can, this is really a no-brainer, especially if you're looking into buying that for your MacBook. Why would you even spend $79 on that when you can spend $79 on this and be able to charge 3 more devices than you could with Apple's charger? It's really just a no-brainer. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Is this something that you could see yourself getting? You know, are you in the market for one of those MacBook chargers and this, you know, would definitely be a better buy for you? Is it a little bit too big for your laptop bag? Really interested to hear what you guys think about something that is this size yet can provide that much power. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. If you have not subscribed, please consider doing so, as well as liking this video, as it helps me to grow the content of the channel. We've picked up lots of new subscribers in the last few weeks, so I really appreciate that. Look out for more content coming in the next couple weeks. I try to post videos at least once a week, if not more. So I'm working on some stuff right now that I'm anxious to show you guys in the next few weeks. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks again for watching.